3 money rules that only 1% of people know. Being good with money. There are so many rules that we need to learn in terms of money. When we talk about money, billionaires are always in it too. How are they managing it? Well, there are a lot of people who know how to handle money, and at the same time, there are a lot who don't. Therefore, in this video, I will share with you 3 money roasts that only 1% of people know. And if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button below for more life-changing money content like this. When I reflect on just how hard my parents worked to ensure we had enough money for everything I could ever need, it makes me realize that they may be some of the hardest working people I know. Like most people, both my parents worked typically 9 to 5 jobs and were quite frugal in their spending ways. As I got older, my parents made sure to pass along their best financial habits, which definitely helped me get a good start on my financial journey. My parents stressed the importance of scrutinizing my budgeting and pushing the fact that a dollar saved is $2 earned. There's no denying that my parents bestowed upon me some valuable lessons. To be honest, when it came to the realization that my job wouldn't allow me to make the money I knew I wanted, I went through a bit of an emotional crisis. I began asking myself why I had gone down the path I did, and more importantly, why do so many people get stuck hurting so meagerly? Unfortunately, I couldn't discuss this with anyone in my family, my friends, or my colleagues because they had gone down the exact same path that I did, and I had accepted whatever paycheck their employer would give them. Here's what I learned. Rule number 1. Selling time for money won't make you rich growing up. My dad always preaches that you want to find a job where the customer wants you, and this comment stuck with me. Whenever I would look up potential majors to study in college, I would research how in demand that role was, and of course, how much the average salary. Certain jobs like a doctor or lawyer were always at the top of the list. However, those careers didn't quite pique my interest. I knew I had a liking for numbers and had always heard that accounts made good money. So, without much more deliberation, I pursued a degree in business and counted down the days until I would start to see those massive paychecks come to rule. A few years later, when I got my first job, I felt like I was beginning my journey towards financial success. I completed a college diploma, a bachelor's, a master's degree, and even my CPA, and was now ready to start making it rain. Well, that's not exactly what happened. Sure, I followed the routine path to securing a solid job and then some by getting multiple designations. But I had to learn that working a 9 to 5 job will never make you feel good. Now, I have nothing against those who work 9 to 5 jobs, but I do get frustrated when I hear people complain about their jobs aren't paying them enough to allow them to live the financial life they desire. You see, jobs are constrained in 2 primary ways, which limit the potential for 99% of employees to become rich. First, being an employee means having an employer, and when someone else dictates your salary, you will always be on the losing side. This is because year after year, business is becoming more competitive. The need to cut costs and increase revenues is always the top priority, especially in the private sector. And one way employers love to keep their costs low is to pay their employees as little as possible. This means that your employer has every incentive to pay you as little as they can. And with the workforce being so competitive amongst applicants, many workers are forced to accept whatever seller they are. All or else the next person in line will gladly accept it. The second problem with trying to become rich by working in 9 to 5 jobs is that there are only so many hours in the day for you to work. When I first decided to become an accountant, I figured that I would be earning a large enough salary to make all my financial dreams become a reality. However, when I realized I was earning my income by trading my precious hours, I saw right away how constraining this would be on me. This is because they too came to the realization that swapping time for money limits your income generating ability, which is why people like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates employ thousands of people, so they can harness the output of their workers' time. Instead of selling your time, you should be focusing on selling something scalable. More specifically, you should be selling something that is both scalable and that solves people's problems. Bill Gates is a perfect example of someone who used this formula to get rich when computers were still a rarity in most. He decided that he wanted to grant the masses access to personalized computers, and through his business Microsoft, he was able to create portable computers so people could access a computer from home. This not only solved the problem, but it provided value to millions of people, which is why Bill Gates are once again the richest man on earth. Now I understand that not everyone is going to be able to sell to the masses like Bill Gates, but it certainly is possible to sell value even without putting in a full time. This is not as difficult as it sounds, but the problem we have, however, is that most people are not trained to sell value or anything for that matter. The rich are rich because they are generous. The rich are rich because they are selfless. And I'll give you a simple example. After achieving significant levels of wealth, Bill Gates turned his attention to helping developing countries gain access to clean water and deter the spread of infectious diseases, which he was able to do by putting up his own money to fund the projects. Therefore, the first world that only 1% of people truly understand is that trading time for money won't make you rich. Don't sell time, sell value instead to create value. Pay attention to other people's needs, love people, and be willing to solve them. Rule number 2, you must work with others to become rich. As I just explained, the first rule of money is don't sell your time, sell volume. And by sharing the value creation from you, you should now understand what actions need to be completed to grow your wealth. But how do you create value and sell value without selling your time? You use other people's time, energy, and expertise. And how do you do this? Learn how to cooperate, partner, and work with other individuals. And this can be done in 2 ways. It's through paid work. This is the typical employer-employee relationship, which has proven time and time again to be quite effective in building wealth. Take the example of when Bill Gates were starting Microsoft. At first, he was just a single person with expertise in computing. However, as this business expanded, he needed to leverage other people's expertise to grow. He had to hire lawyers and other engineers that could lend their knowledge in areas where Gates was less proficient. And through the gathering of all these skills, Gates was able to build one of the most successful technology companies of all time. So when it comes to rule number 2, never forget that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Rule number 3, technology will accelerate your income. Technologies become a way of life. For many of us, it greets us when we wake up, offers support and entertainment throughout the day, and to see the lasting effects many people see before they go to sleep. Our devices are so attached to us that Elon Musk has said that humans are half a human, half machine. Despite that omnipresence though, only 1% of people are using technology to its full potential. You see, the average tech user focuses on the entertainment side of technology. They spend hours on social media websites, playing video games, or watching television. However, the rich know that when used correctly, current technology is the catalyst for building your fortune. So how can current technology make you feel? 100 years ago, the notion that someone could be paid $100,000 per year to work primarily from home without performing any hard labor was unimaginable. Today, with the power and reach of the internet, numerous people are earning a living without ever having to punch in at a 9-to-5 job. Ooh, was that interesting for you? Did you learn new things? While sharing all these, I did too. New lessons and realizations. Well, that was fun. If you want to watch more videos like these, check out our channel and don't forget to subscribe. Adios!